In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. As we get into this big news day today, it's important to remember this is the fastest growing new channel on all of YouTube in 2021, not just in cryptocurrency. Yeah, that's right, on all of YouTube. I'm at Was. It's Final Stand. If you have not seen the name yet, come subscribe with notifications on to see what you've been missing out on as we look at what's happening with SpaceX and Dogecoin behind the scenes. A lot of big things are being worked on right now, and a lot of them are going to truly change the entire face of cryptocurrency as we move forward. Take a look. This right here shows the all-civilian flight that SpaceX just successfully carried out today, a historic event. Because why? Well, they actually are going into space for a multiple day period. It's not just a quick jolt above the little line there and then right back down. And we'll get to that in a sec, but you can see there's a picture of the four of them in front of the rocket. Pretty cool to be one of those people. You have to say, I mean, going into space like that, not just for a little bit. There's a picture of the rocket blasting off. Yeah, they did it at night, which I guess makes sense because if you do it during the day, well, it wouldn't be necessarily as cool with the fire down there, I mean, right? But they went off at night. There's a picture of all of them in the cockpit there, obviously having the time of their lives. Maybe a little scary if it's the first time you're flying in a rocket, but of course they trained and stuff like that. But this brings us to why it's so important, what we're seeing with this, especially for Dogecoin and the landscape around it. Dogecoin Phase 2 of the SpaceX mission has been initiated. Elon Musk and the SpaceX team are currently working on the plans, and they're stepping up their game for this space mission with Dogecoin and putting it on the moon and all the cool things they're doing with that. This is going to really truly change the landscape, like I said. So take a look all the way back on 6/6/2021. So this was a while back. We saw this tweet here referencing Elon Musk's SpaceX trying to send Doge to the moon. BitMEX says, "We're noting that we have nothing against dog money, but we felt it was only right to help Bitcoin get there first." And they put out their statement that they plan to put Bitcoin on the moon first before Elon Musk puts Dogecoin on the moon. Then you may remember Elon Musk responded, "A new space race has begun." And since then, there has not been a lot of activity at SpaceX, but now I'm here to let you know it has officially started the planning and everything that's going to go into place for specifically the Dogecoin aspect of it. They've already been planning the moon mission for a while. Now, though, they're trying to do it faster than this, which is going to be most likely in Q4 of 2022, which means just about 1 year approximately from now, a little over a year, but just about 1 year from now. It should be before then. So it could be at any point between now and the end of 2022. That's when we're expecting it to happen. Some estimates are saying it's going to happen way later, but you compare that where they're literally going up for days on end and actually staying in space. They're there right now, having a blast probably, floating around. You compare that to Blue Origin over here, where Jeff Bezos, they sent him up barely above the line. It didn't even hardly count. We even had a quote from one of the people there who said, "That's it?" Disrespecting Jeff Bezos directly inside his own cockpit there, which maybe sounds a little bit inappropriate, but it's not. YouTube is not appropriate. That was a completely and totally appropriate sentence there. So don't take the stream down, YouTube. Don't take it down. But Jeff Bezos, this is the same dude, by the way, who was literally following his ex-wife on Twitter as the only person he was following on Twitter. His ex-wife, the person who he divorced. Let me just clear this up. The person who he's no longer with, that he was with, is the only person following on Twitter. Kind of ridiculous when you consider the fact that he was literally already dating someone new. While he was dating someone new, the same person that he cheated on his wife with, he was still following his ex-wife. Come on. I mean, we don't want someone like that who can't even get a rocket into orbit for a couple days, who can only do it barely above the line. You don't want someone like that who's leading the Dogecoin mission. So thank God it's Elon Musk that we have in our corner rather than Jeff Bezos. Do we need a roast music for that? Perhaps we do. As the chat comes in, Alex Pintos with the chat saying, "Keep it up." I appreciate that. As we're saying, some people saying, "Damn, that's a little bit too big of a roast." Oh no. Oh, do we roast him too hard? He deserves it. He deserves it. It's okay. Jeff, don't come and stop my Amazon packages, please. I need my Amazon packages, Jeff. Don't do it. Don't do it, Jeff. I'm sorry. We already have Bill Gates' drone story about Jeff Bezos is now going to halt packages. Clearly, we better be more concerned, right? Don't know. But is Dogecoin in for a massive rally? This article coming in from Benzinga, where they talk about all of the energy that's building right now with it. The bullish thesis would fully be invalidated by a breakout above the 193 support that would create a lower low. So that's obviously the downside. If the coin breaks through the 30-cent ceiling, then it would likely encounter resistance until it hit the 32 price. That's kind of their prediction there. And I think, to be honest, it's a little bit too negative. Even in that article where they're talking about positives, I still think that's too negative because we are seeing some positive things right now with that. But also take a look at this. At the end of the day, if Bitcoin is successful, governments are going to say, nope, you're gone. They're going to kill it, says Ray Dalio, who is currently in charge of the largest hedge fund there is, the biggest one. Not the second place one, not the third place one, the very largest one. And a few of the things he said in this is that yes, he does have some cryptocurrency, but the amount of cryptocurrency he owns is a fraction of the amount of gold he owns, a small fraction. And the amount of gold he owns is a small fraction of his other investments, which are largely in larger companies, bigger stocks. This guy has a net worth of $20 billion. And it's hard to know if he actually truly believes what he's saying here, because part of me thinks he really doesn't understand it and actually thinks that. He even says as much in the interview himself, that he's not an expert here, he doesn't understand crypto that much. Or you have to wonder, is he trying to make his investments do better, even though he already has a net worth of $20 billion? Is he still trying to do that anyway and trying to make the other ones look bad? That could also be it. It's really hard to know, but basically he does not think that cryptocurrency is going to be capable of succeeding because he believes the government is going to stop it and is going to make sure that doesn't happen. And he's wrong about that. Not only can the government not really do that successfully without seeing way more pushback and to the point where they wouldn't even do it in the first place, but it's just simply not going to happen. So Ray Dalio, enjoy your 20 billion, but you're not right here. You are incorrect, and it's good that you're holding some crypto. I would love for you to reveal how much though, because I would be willing to bet it's not that much. And if you had more, you'd probably talk a little bit nicer about it. Next year prediction for Doge from Funny Mike. I believe we are going to see Dogecoin by the end of the next year. If we're looking at 1 year from now, calendar-wise, an entire 365 days, it's almost certainly going to be above the $3 area. I'm hoping to see it significantly above that, especially depending on if we see the moon mission within that time or not. If we see the moon mission, it's going to be above $5. And I think that's a low estimate of where it could potentially go. If we don't see that, if we don't see those things happening that quickly, then most likely we'll see it somewhere around $1 range simply by the end of the calendar year. And of course, there are things that can change this, including bad news, but that's where we can expect a potential breakout to lead to if it does happen within the calendar year. So it's something to keep an eye on. Bitcoin protests as well in El Salvador against cryptocurrency as legal tender are carrying on. Look at this. He's holding up the Bitcoin no sign, saying, no, you can't have it. You can't do it. You can't do it. No Bitcoin. And keep in mind, all of these protests are continuing to show that no one really actually knows what they're talking about when it comes to protesters. I mean, so many times over and over and over again, we will also see people who protest literally anything, even if it's a very positive thing. People will still find something that they dislike about it. And it's fun to go in a group and yell. And so that's why people often do this. But I believe there's actually more to it than that. Western Union, as we covered on a previous show, is set to lose hundreds of millions of dollars from the potential switch to Bitcoin when it comes to remittances alone. And that's just Western Union. There's also the banks. So I would not be surprised at all. I'm going to look into this more. I would not be surprised at all if there are many people who are being paid to go out and protest to make it look like there's resistance, even though it's not really being that successful because it's such a tiny amount of people. And the truth is, the benefits so far outweigh the negative sides that it's really not even particularly close. And anyone who disagrees with Bitcoin being implemented as the currency can just simply not use it. No one's being forced to use Bitcoin. You just simply have the option to, which makes sense. And X coming in with the chat, a big chat coming in. I appreciate that. The guy with the most valuable car company and the most valuable space company is the guy that has our back. Have fun and have faith. I like that coming in from X. You are in fact correct about that. And we're going to continue talking about some of these big things. If you're not subscribed with the notifications on, what the heck are you doing? Let's also see if we can get this video out to more people. Everyone who has not pressed like yet, let's get all of us to do that. If we all press like, it'll instantly get up to more people. So if you're someone who normally does that, if you're someone who normally doesn't, take a sec, whether you're lying down, maybe you're sitting down, wherever the heck you are, and press that like button so we can get this out to a little bit more people here. Because we are streaming at 11:06 p.m. on a Wednesday. So we're not going to have those same insane levels of viewers that we sometimes have on a Wednesday at this time. You have to go live a little bit earlier in the day if you want to get to those super insane high viewers, but people are still going to watch it. They're just going to watch it after the show is already live, after the show is already up. And it's done being live. I mean, but paid protesters, exactly. I'm really starting to think, if you were going to lose $100 million, $200 million, $300 million, wouldn't you be willing to pay, say, $500,000 to a few protesters in a last-ditch effort to try to stop it from happening? Well, of course you would. So it makes total logical sense that this would be happening. And so that's what I think is happening. And you really don't even have to do that much. Because if you have the media on your side, which the banks and Western Union and these big corporations do have, then all you have to do is literally pay like 20 people to go out there. Then the cameras just show those 20 people and they don't show anything else. And then it looks like there's a big protest and there's people that are really mad. Notice in every single picture, look, one dude in that picture. There's one dude there. one dude in this picture. You can see, okay, a little bit more. There's okay, maybe 100 people there, but look, notice the camera zoomed in. It doesn't show the entire crowd, because why? If they zoom out, they're gonna see a tiny little crowd, not a big one, a tiny one. And so that's why you never will see an article about the protesters in El Salvador that actually shows the full image, because it looks tiny. It's not a lot of people. This is a country with millions of people, over 6 million to be exact. And the amount of people protesting is so tiny that they literally have to lie with the images. Even though it's technically not lying, it's misleading. So it's the same thing as lying. It's just a different form of lying. And we're going to continue to call them out on it. Don't worry. Well, we got your back. We got your back, people in El Salvador who want Bitcoin, because it's the right thing to do. With Dogecoin right now going up, this today, 1.52%, and it's actually a little bit higher than that depending on when you start the 24-hour countdown, because if you go back a few hours before that, it's actually up approximately 3 to 4%, which is cool in the last 48-hour period or so. Then if XRP up 1.9%, Binance Coin up 3%, Cardano 2%, and Ethereum and Bitcoin both doing pretty well. Ethereum up 5%. I'm very happy with Ethereum doing well. And I've explained in the past, I do have more than $100,000 currently in Ethereum, and so I want to see it doing well. I love Ethereum, not as much as Dogecoin, obviously, but it's still fun to see Ethereum doing well, and a spike like that is good. Eventually, both Dogecoin and Ethereum are going to pass Bitcoin. That is going to happen. It is something that is inevitable, and so everyone should be looking forward to that, absolutely. But as we continue to talk about some of these big things that are happening, make sure, have fun, enjoy it. Go down there, subscribe if you're not already, join the fastest growing new channel on all of YouTube in 2021. I'm Matt Wallace, this is Faust Int, and I will see you in the next video.